It's time for the Fred Jackson Show with running back Fred Jackson and co-host Bob Kuczynski. Brought to you by Duville College, educating for life, and Gate Circle Wine and Liquor. Now from the WBBZ-TV studio at the Eastern Hills Mall, welcome Fred Jackson and co-host Bob Kuczynski.
And welcome to the Fred Jackson Show here at our WBBZ-TV studios. Our star of the show, of course, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fred Jackson. And our special guest tonight, wide receiver Robert Woods, is in the house. And get your questions ready. Brad Gelber is here for all your questions from the Twitterverse. Just send us a tweet at WBBZ or like us on Facebook, and Brad will get all the questions. So we've got a great show lined. And I should mention, too, Fred, we were going to have the Williamsville South football team last-second cancellation, so hopefully we'll have them back another week. But so big win over the Dolphins. You go down, first quarter, everybody watching the game figured you could possibly have been out for the remainder of the year, let alone the game. Tell us what went through your mind and what occurred on that play.
I just got rolled up. Scott was trying to do a great job for me blocking downfield, and, he got clipped, and, he ended up being tossed into my knee, and thoughts went through my mind, initially were just, not again. Can we get over, the hump without, dealing with an injury for, every week? I told the trainers that, when I was down there that I just wanted to try and walk it off a little bit and, see how I felt. It was numb right away. I said I just wanted to see if I could get some feeling back in it and see what would happen. And it was able to quiet down for a little while, and I was able to get back out there.
All right, not only did you get back out there, but you had a touchdown. Which I'm happy about because you're on my fantasy football team. Yes, and by the way, Robert Woods is on my team too.
Hey, there we go.
I'll have to talk to him about it in the end zone. But you score, and of course, when you score, you had a chance. You must have been really, really excited and really angry when you scored. Let's take a look at the picture because you did the famous "that's your Hulk" move, right? But you must have been really angry because this is what our photographer captured. That's still you as there we go.
I like it. I like it a lot. That's me,
So now you're making the Hulk move famous, so we figured the next step is to have your own comic book.
I'm working on it.
And
I like it.
I'm sure we just broke all kind of copyright rules
Probably.
by using that, but Hulk's one of my favorites too. But you got the shirt on tonight. Pull out a little bit so we can see the Hulk shirt. Which, by the way, we use an effect here called green screen, and the Hulk is blue on your shirt tonight because the Hulk is green. But anyway.
He's that mad.
Yeah, that's inside tell. The Hulk was red for a while, but that's comic book stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you scored a touchdown. Now in the second half, you tweaked the knee again, and you left the field kind of hobbled. But you had one of the most, I think collectively Bills fans feel, that run in the fourth quarter on third down was one of the most heroic runs. You just looked as determined as I had ever seen you run the ball.
Yeah, it was just we needed it, and I said that, if any point I got to make a play for my team during this game, it has to be right now. And, I can't take all the credit. Our offensive line and Frank Summers did a tremendous job, getting me one-on-one with the linebacker, and I just have to make him, miss and get some extra yardage. And I was able to do that. It gave us an opportunity to run the clock down a little bit more and, kind of ice the victory. And, Dan came in, did a tremendous job. He's been clutch for us since he's been here, and he nailed the field goal for us, and we were able to get out of there with a win.
This team is consistently the most inconsistent team in the NFL. You guys have yet to put 4 quarters together. When you play well, you play very well.
Yeah.
And you started out up 14-zip. Yeah. They come roaring back. It looked like anybody who's watched this team for the last couple of years said, oh, here's another heartbreaker. Yeah. What's different about this team that, aside from Mario Williams making a huge play, but you guys don't quit?
Yeah, I think that's the number one thing. You look in that locker room, everybody's, ready to compete, 4 quarters. granted, we haven't been consistently competing 4 quarters, but everybody's ready and willing to do it. And I think as long as you have every guy in that locker room believing in each other, you know, it gives you an opportunity to win football games. And we've come up short on some, but, you know, we've been in all our games, you know, and that's all we can ask. You know, it's going to come down to 4 quarters every time we play, and we just have to be willing to go that distance and make plays when we get that opportunity to.
Talk a little bit about your conversation with Mario Williams on the sideline before you made that dramatic strip of Tannehill.
It was just, you know, one of those things where I walked up to him and I said, "It's about time for another sack, isn't it?" And he was like, "I got you." You know, he's a playmaker, you know, and he's a great asset for this team, you know. I'm excited about him being on our team. You know, I told him before the season started that I wanted him to get 20+ sacks, and if he continues to play as well as he is right now, that shouldn't be a problem for him. So, you know, he was hungry, and he knew he had the spotlight on him, and it was a perfect situation for him to go make a play for us.
So you're telling me it's like playing Madden? You can just walk up to him and say it's time for another sack, and you hit the sack button? And
I hope it's that easy. You know, I hope it works like that for the rest of the year. You know, all I got to go is say something like that, and he makes a play. You know, I'll say it every time he steps on the field.
But and I heard you in an interview earlier this morning on the radio. I mean, you pick your spots, don't you? You're not one of those guys run up and down the sidelines, rah rah, just talking in everybody's ear. You kind of pick your spot.
Yeah, and that's just it. You know, at this level, you don't really need that. You know, but every now and then, you know, when a guy comes to you and asks you to do something, you know, you kind of take that to heart. You know, and that's what I try and do. You know, especially with young guys that we have on this team. We have a young team, and being here, you know, one of the longest tenured people here. You know, I try to go up and give guys the knowledge that I have about the game, and every now and then you just go give them a little motivation, and you know, hopefully it keeps coming to fruition like it did for Mario.
Okay, let's get back to your knee before we wrap up the segment. So what's going to be your regiment this week with that knee?
I'm not quite sure yet. You know, I'll go in tomorrow to do some more, you know, rehab and stuff on it, and I think that's when we'll put together a game plan for the week. But you know, I want to be out there as much as possible, but be smart about it at the same time. So we'll see what we come up with tomorrow, and you know, well, I guess I'm waiting just like everybody else is.
I assume you're going to be wearing a special brace come Sunday.
Always. You know, I think they'll keep me in a brace for the rest of the season because yesterday the brace that I had on protected my knee, saved me from any further injury that, you know, I could have sustained.
Now, you texted me the other day, a player was coming down, and you called, you know, you had a comic book name for him. Robert Woods is coming up, so before he gets here, you've thought about it, but you haven't been able to come up with a comic book name for him.
I haven't been able to come up with one yet. I'll ask him and see what he likes.
Okay, well, that'll be our first question for him. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back with Robert Woods on the Fred Jackson Show right after this.